JSON. So what about JSON? JSON, because properties only grasp their value rather than contain it. Objects and arrays are stored in the computer's memory or sequences of bits holding the addresses, the place in memory, and of their contents. So an array with another array inside of it consists of at least one memory region for the inner array and another for the outer array containing, among other things, and a binary number that represents the position of the inner array. And if you want to save data in a file for later or send it to another computer over the network, and you have somehow convert these things of memory and addresses to a description that can be stored or sent, and you could send over your entire computer memory along with the address of the value and you are interested in, and I suppose, but that doesn't seem like the best approach. And what we can do is serialize the data, and that means it's converted into a flat description, and a popular serialization format is called JSON, by the way, and pronounced JSON, and which stands for JavaScript Objects Notation, and is widely used as a data storage and communication format on the web, and even in languages other than JavaScript. By the way, JSON looks similar to JavaScript's way of writing arrays and objects, and with a few restrictions, and all property names have to be surrounded by double quotes, by the way, and only simple data expressions are allowed, and no function calls, bindings, or anything that involves actual computation, and comments are not allowed, by the way, in JSON. And a journal entry might look like this when represented as JSON data, like this example. Squirrel false, and events work and touch tree, pizza running. And JavaScript gives us the functions JSON.stringify and JSON.parse to convert data to and from this format. This first takes a JavaScript value and returns a JSON encoded string, and the second takes such a string and converts it to the value in it encodes. Like this comment: let string equal JSON.stringify and squirrel false and evens weekend and console.log string semicolon. Then the result will be squirrel false and evens weekend. Okay, so console.log JSON.parse string.evens semicolon. Then the result will be weekend. And summarize this chapter now. Objects and arrays, which are a specific kind of object and provide ways to group several values into a single value. And this allows us to put a bunch of related things in a bag and run around with the bag, instead of wrapping our arms around all of the individual things and trying to hold on to them separately. And most values, by the way, in JavaScript have properties, and the exceptions being null and undefined, and the properties are accessed using value.prop or value prop, or objects tend to use names for their properties and store more or less a fixed set of them. And arrays, on the other hand, usually contain varying amounts of conceptually identical values and use numbers and starting from zero, and as the names of their properties. There are some named properties in arrays, and such as length and number of methods, and methods are functions that live in properties and usually act on the value they are a property of. You can iterate over arrays using a special kind of for loop for let element of array.